So, hello guys, and welcome to another werewolf build for the Scalebreaker, or Werewolf Breaker, update. This werewolf build is for the Stamsorc or Stamplar. It also works on Stamblade and Stamblade. I wouldn't recommend it though. And I switched from the main differences are that I switched from medium armor to heavy armor, because medium armor this patch is this bad on a werewolf. I tried it and it was like, yikes, this is terrible. Yeah, and also switched, as you can see, I also switched from robust jewelry to infused jewelry to bump up her weapon damage a bit. And yeah, it's working pretty well. But I can really feel that the werewolf is good versus potatoes, let's put it that way. But I wouldn't recommend it against experienced players. Just because the magic and main heal, if you're running up against a magler or so, his heal will heal more than your heal will, and it costs like a quarter, literally. So yeah. But in any case, I still enjoy it somewhat. I'm playing my I'll probably play my mag blade though next patch. I'm playing it, I played it today and it was actually lots of fun. Way more fun in comparison to the werewolf. But yeah, we will see.
Questions trying to stress me. Misery is all I see, that's my mind state. My history with the police to shake the crime rate. My main man had 2 strikes slip, got arrested and flipped. He screamed thug life and emptied the clip.
Tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all. Doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
I'm capable of anything. My imagination can give me wings to fly like doves over the streets, watching many things. Kids walking home from school on drug blocks, missionaries pass out papers that read love God. I see faces, cases, judges and jurors, masons, lawyers and cops. I watch cause every thug's face is my mirror, but this was one in particular. This kid, he was the vintage stick-em-up pro, 16 years old, did his jail sentence, nowhere to go. Every morning calls his comrade to come and get him to smoke. He insane, already gone mad, blames himself for his setbacks. Dangerous street corners where his sets at. Sling from dusk to dawn, detectives act like they maniacs, chasing him, his ass was flaring, smoking like a chimney on Remy, of course he not caring. He need a place to go to keep his mind expanding, I give him a helping hand.
I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
There they go, packing stadiums as shady spits his flow. Nuts they go, macadamian they go so ballistic, whoa. He can make them look like bozos, he's wondering if he should spit this slow. Fuck no, go for broke, his cup just runneth over, oh no. He ain't had him a bust like this since the last time that he overdosed. They've been waiting patiently for Pinocchio to poke his nose back into the game, and they know rap will never be the same as before. Bashing in the brains of these hoes and establishing a name as he goes. The passion and the flame is ignited, you can't put it out once we light it. This shit is exactly what the fuck that I'm talking about when we riot. You dealing with a few true villains who stand inside of the boot, true spilling and spit true feelings until our true feelings come flying up out of our mouths. Never mind it, payback motherfucker for the way that you got me. How's it taste when I slap the taste out of your mouth with the bass so loud that it shakes the place? I'm Hannibal Lecter, so just in case you're thinking of saving face, you ain't gonna have no face to say by the time I'm through with this place. So Drake's place, so Drake.
And got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard and got so
So, and let's go to the armor sets. I'm using the armor of the Desert Rose armor set. You can get it in Crops for I think Lastris, one of those cities. You can get it. Weapon wise, it's basically your choice. On the Stamplar I use dual wield 2H. On my Stamsorc I use a 2H bow or 2H resto. It's pretty much your choice. Yeah, monster set wise, I use the Troll King. You get it in the Blessed Crucible. It's a very nice set. Procs off Claws of Life. Gives you like, effectively puts up my health regen to like 2.8k. And yeah, that's about it. For the main armor set, we use the set of the Another's Gaze. You can craft it somewhere there. Somewhere in this area, that's where the crafting station is. We use 5 pieces heavy, 1 piece light, 1 piece medium. 511 just to make sure our sustain wise the heavy attack sustain is quite fine, so yeah, you shouldn't have any problems there. You can run very low stam recovery on the Werewolf, surprisingly low recovery. And now I can't find the best crucible, so yeah, you'll know where it is. We enchant one or two big pieces with prismatic and 1 small piece. The jewelry is full infused, 2 times weapon damage and 1 times stam recovery on it. And yeah, that's our armor set basically. The Desert Rose is very good. It gives us back 2.4k Magicka with a 15% proc chance. Every time we get, I think 8% proc, 15% proc chance every time. So basically it's like it procs on cooldown pretty much when you're taking decent pressure. So yeah, Caltrops I turn into your best friends, apart from the snare that is. That's the only way we can sustain our Werewolf fields this patch, because there's literally no other way. So yeah, on my Stamsorc I like using 2H and resto. I use, Dizzy Swing, because yeah, that's pretty much the only good spammable the Stamsorc has. Well, it's weapon scoring, but yeah, you get the picture. We use Stampede because it's a very nice dart pressure, AoE. We use the Turn Evil because it's a nice AoE CC just to get it out of bad situations. You can find it in the Fighter's Guild skill line. Then we use the Critical Surge. It's a very juicy heal, especially if you combine it with like Caltrops and stuff like that. And then on the last but not least, we use the Race Against Time. It's a very nice snare removal, and it also gives you Mage Expedition. So yeah, I would actually recommend this over Forward Momentum. I know the snare range is shorter, but you guess your mobility is so much better, especially if you're not using a bow or for heavy armor builds. On the back bar, we use a Wrestle Staff. You can also use the bow instead of this, if you don't like having a defensive ult. I found that not having a defensive ult kind of fucks you over usually. Especially when you're getting like dumped by 2 or 3 people, it's very hard to get out of that without a healing ult. But yeah, we use the Psijic ability. It's going to crushing weapons or something like that. Then we use Dark Deal, which procs the Exploitation passive. Extra spell crit used to be nice because it would increase the proc chance on the Werewolf heals, but this patch it's the Werewolf heals scale of your weapon crits, so that's kind of pointless. We use the Ball of Lightning, which is under the Shock tree, Hurricane, and Resolving Storm Calling. That's it. A Hurricane, which is like a big AoE, it procs a crit surge very nicely. Armor buff, yeah, everything we need. Then we use the Resolving Vigor, and we use the Life Giver, which is the defensive healing morph. This is because when we're using it, we don't want to do damage, we just want to get the hell out of there. On my Stamplar, I have a bit of a different approach. I use the 2H bar as I use a 2H and dual wield. Put my Werewolf on the dual wield bar, and yeah, it's basically just the same. Yeah, jabs, dizzy. I actually use Wrecking Blow on the thing because I already have a stun with the I think it's the CC jump, which also procs off balance. I use Othermorph, the Wrecking Blow, because we have quite a lot of points in buffing on the CP tree, which buffs your light attacks. What is it called? It's called Physical Weapon Expert. So yeah, if you like light uppercut, light attack into like the jabs, that actually does quite a chunk of damage. Then we do Power of the Light, and then we use the Rally. Toppling Charge, that's the name. I love it on the Stamplar. It's a very nice skill. Then we use the Healing Ult. You can also use Empowering Sweep here as an ultimate. That's your choice. Again, I like having a defensive ult because I have people trying to fuck me over on a regular basis. Then we use Race Against Time as a snare removal and for the Mage Expedition. Then I have Resolving Vigor, Repentance, and then I think it's the 2 standard buffs on the Templar. You know, the Rune and the Extended Ritual. Repentance is a very nice skill. I actually think it's extremely strong, and I think it can actually crit, because I could have sworn I had a crit on it this patch. Extended Ritual is like it's like half of the vigor healing wise, but it takes every 2 seconds, and yeah, very nice for holding the ground. It procs actually a lot of passives there. The reason why I choose Templar and Stamsorc for the Werewolf build is because they have the best passes, well-rounded passes, except the Nightblade, and my Nightblade is kind of being used for something else at the moment, so yeah. So, on my Werewolf skills, we use the Claws of Life, just because it's, mind you, this is the unbuffed tooltip with like no armor on or anything on my Templar. So this is like Claws of Life, just because for the healing nerf you will take all the heals you can get this patch. Howl of Agony, it was nerfed this patch. It actually only has like a 17 or 18k tooltip, I think. Before it had like 20k. It's a very nice burst if you combine it, because it does 33 more damage to enemies that are feared, but it sets enemies off balance, with the Ferocious Roar setting enemies off balance, which adds another 10% to our damage. The overall damage buff you get when you fear people and heavy attack into the Howl of Agony is like 100% more damage on your heavy attacks, which combined with the Physical Weapon Expert is more like 120%. And then the Howl of Agony has like a 40% damage bonus. So that actually hits pretty hard, as you can probably see in a few of my clips, because I like using that for bursting people, because we don't have an ultimate in Werewolf form. Well, we are kind of like an ultimate, but a lot of attacks hit like when Noodles this patch, so yeah. In any case, then we also use the Feral Pounce, just to keep our Werewolf falls very nice. Because if you use it from at least 10 meters away, pounce targets at least 10 meters away, that's 4 seconds. If you do this on a regular basis, you can keep up your Werewolf almost indefinitely. Then we use Hircines Fortitude. As you can see, the tooltip is, well, it was pretty good once, but now it's pretty bad. And by the Werewolf morph, we use the Berserker morph for the extra bleed damage, since the other morph is really kind of pointless. Because, yeah, main, I can literally get that from potions. CP. We put 66 under the Warlord, just to reduce the cost for our break free. And then we put 13 under Sprinter. And we don't really get any good CP passives, except Ensnare, if you like bash cancelling some of your abilities. We put 75 points under Tenacity, just to get back more stamina from our heavy attacks, which we kind of rely on for sustain. 43 under Arcanist, just to get back as much magic as possible. And 15 in the Mooncalf, just to bump up our stam recovery a little bit. Because we don't really rely on recovery for our stam sustain. Well, if you do this, we get the Wind Running passive. It's a very strong passive, 2% mounted movement speed. Doesn't sound much, but it feels a lot. You really notice it. Then you put 56 points on the Tumbling, which reduces our dodge roll costs, because we do like to dodge roll a bit on this build. And the rest you put on the Shadow Ward. I put 56 points under this is the Atronach's CP tree. 56 points under Physical Weapon Expert, since we do a lot of heavy attacks and we rely on them for a burst. So 56 under Physical Weapon Expert, 66 under Master at Arms. We get the Tactician passive, which means, you've probably noticed it in the one, I think in one of the clips, where dodge roll, he sets off balance in a heavy attack into a Howl of Agony, and pretty much you take away 90% of his health that way. It's a very strong combo if you can time it right. And also, if you heavy attacks targets which are off balance, you get back twice the stamina. We put 31% on the Precise Strikes, just because our crit ratio is actually pretty high. It's like 45 to 50%. For heavy armor, that's extremely high. Just to get the most out of our Khajiit passives. Then we put 53 points on the Piercing, to increase our armor pen, because everyone's like cap resistances as usual, so we want to get most out of this as possible. And then the rest on the Mighty. The strongest CP passive here is, I'd say, the Exploiter, Last Stand, and Perfect Strike. Those are the strongest. The Last Stand is like when you get really low, you get back a lot of ultimate points. That can be the ultimate you need to go into well form. The Red Tree, we put 61 points under Ironclad, 2 under Spell Shield, and 43 under Resistant. The 2 is just to put our spell resistance and our physical resistance to an equal value. We put 48 points on thick-skinned. It sounds a lot, but this patch literally is a dot meta, so you want to keep that thick-skinned quite high. 37 on the Hardy and Elemental Defender, and by doing that we got the Unchained passive, which finally works in Werewolf form. And then the rest you put in the Heavy Armor focus, because we get that, it gives us the Infusion passive. It's nice when you're rezzing other people, especially when you're on the Stamplar Werewolf. So yeah, Munda Stone I think is the Warrior Stone, and Buff Food is Tri-Food. And yeah, as a Stamplar, the burst combo I like doing, it's pretty straightforward. Probably everyone knows it anyway. It's like jab, power the lights, and you use toppling charge, dizzy swing, light attack into the jabs. Then rinse and repeat. And on the Werewolf, it's also straightforward. I'll show you guys as soon as I get ready. Remember to lay down your buffs before you go into Werewolf form, because they do last 20 seconds and that can make quite a difference. You Feral Pounce him, dot him up, light attack, wait till your poisons proc because they give you minor brutality poisons. Then you heavy attack into Howl of Agony, because usually when they're feared, they get that juicy damage. You get that juicy damage buff, and then you can nuke them pretty effectively. The Stamsorc combo, well, that one's pretty straightforward. I think I don't have to explain dizzy swing, light attack, and just impede to you guys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. And yeah, if you have any questions, just put them into the comment section. And peace out. This is this bit of a gameplay.